So this afternoon I wanted to get a couple of kids' snack items taken care of, but also get some lunches for the week prepped for my husband. So I went ahead and made about 2 dozen hard-boiled eggs in my Instant Pot. I use the 5-5-5 method. However, I actually use like a 4-4-4 method because I think that works better. So I just went ahead and peeled all of these hard-boiled eggs, and I'm gonna put about probably 10 or 11 of these eggs aside to make for egg salad for my husband for lunches, and then the other half we're going to use just as hard-boiled eggs for snacks. My son in particular could eat hard-boiled eggs all day every day. If they're in the fridge, he'll eat them, and it's a great way to use up some of our chicken eggs, especially when we have like a gluttony of chicken eggs. So how I make my chicken salad, or my egg salad I guess I should say, I've shared this a couple times, but it's really simple. I just take my hard-boiled eggs, and I like to use my pie like crust cutter thing here, my pastry cutter, that's what it's called, and it just works really well, keeps the eggs a really nice size and makes it a lot easier of a process. So I just kind of leave that chunky. I gotta leave it chunky because it does kind of soften up over time in the fridge, and this is going to be for my husband for the entire week. I just add a little bit of Dijon, some mayo. I don't like to keep ours too wet because you can always add in more mayo, more dressing if you need to, if it gets dry, but once it's in there, it's kind of in there. I like to add in all of my husband's spices like Cajun, salt, pepper. We keep ours pretty basic, mostly because my husband really likes the Cajun. If I were eating this, I would add in a ton of raw veggies like onions and celery and all that good stuff, but my husband likes his pretty basic, so that's what I did here. So with our hard-boiled eggs for the week, I'm making these oatmeal cookie bars. They're actually like a Christmas cookie recipe. I found them on Pinterest. It will be linked down below. I made these a couple weeks ago for the first time for like end of school lunch boxes, and my family's obsessed with them. They're really easy and super yummy, so that's why we keep making them. The recipe calls for M&Ms and sprinkles and stuff. I've never put those in here. I just put in either white chocolate chips and regular chocolate chips, and it turns out just fine. I constantly get questions about this here. I got this from Menards. It's like a local hardware store, almost kind of like an Ace Hardware or something. I love it. Every time I pull this out, I get questions. It's from Menards. If I remember, I will do my best to link this down below, but it is hands down one of my favorite kitchen utensils. I love it. So we're just gonna get everything creaming together in my KitchenAid here. Let my KitchenAid do all the hard work for me because let's use the machines to make the life easier. And to throw all of this together, you guys, I was in the kitchen for maybe 20 minutes and I got all my hard-boiled eggs done, my egg salad done for the week, and these cookie bars for really easy snacks for the kids to just kind of grab and go, or really easy sides for lunch, or maybe even a before dinner snack. And all of this was super simple, easy to put together, and now I have some homemade easy things for the whole family to eat throughout the week, and that is a huge win in my book. So these are really simple. You just throw them in whatever pan you have. I've made them in lasagna pans and it works just fine, but I have a cake pan today that I'm throwing these in. Bake it at 350 for about 15-20-ish minutes until your bars are cooked through. Pull those bad boys out and enjoy. But here they are, what they look like when they're done. They're amazing. And then of course our hard-boiled eggs and our egg salad that we managed to get done all within a little bit of time in the kitchen today. My kale is ready to be harvested for a second time, so I'm gonna cut these down and get this going so that we can get these washed and drying and in the dehydrator for more kale powder. I have my basket full of kale here. I'm just gonna kind of set this aside and walk through the garden and just check on some things this morning, enjoy being outside. I'm seeing that the deer once again came through and destroyed my deer fence. I've kind of given up on everything on that half of the garden, like my green beans and my peas specifically. If you've been following for a while, you know I've been having a ton of issues with the deer coming in and eating my beans and my peas. Every morning I come out here, my deer fence is ripped down and my beans and peas are just being eaten down to the ground. So I've kind of just said, you know what, maybe this isn't the year for peas and beans. So I kind of am just gonna leave them. I'm not gonna put my energy in there anymore because you can only fight nature so much, and the deer are currently winning right now. So I talked to my husband. We are going to invest in an actual fence next year. So probably next spring we'll spend some time putting in a real fence, like an 8-foot, 9-foot fence to keep the deer out. And it'll be a permanent fence, so once it's in, it'll be in. So we're gonna plan that this winter. That's gonna be like a winter project plan for us, figuring out materials and how we wanna do it, how we want the layout to be, gates, all of that good stuff. So for right now, it is what it is. It's really unfortunate because green beans are one of our family's favorite things to like eat, preserve, all of the things. They're so easy to grow if you don't have deer eating them, and it's so easy to get an abundance of them. It's really easy to grab a year's worth, and it's a really nice confidence booster, especially if you're starting. So it's really unfortunate, but it just kind of is what it is for this year. So I'm finding peppers on my pepper plants, which is cool. I was just out here the other day to film a garden tour, and these weren't here, or at least I didn't see them. So that's really exciting to see the first peppers coming in. I'm looking at some of the pepper plants now, and I'm seeing actually a lot of them have peppers coming in on them, which is super exciting, getting peppers in the freezer, because I was just checking my freezer yesterday and I noticed we're actually down to just our last couple bags of peppers from last year's garden, which is good because that means we were successful in growing a year's worth last year, and I'm not gonna have a ton of leftovers from last year heading into this next round of peppers to get in the freezer, which is really great. So I'm really happy about both of those. Great way to preserve your cauliflower. If you're looking in here, we have a beautiful cauliflower head. These will actually start to turn yellow because they'll get bleached by the sun. So a good way to keep your cauliflower from turning colors on you is just to break these leaves over it so that the sun doesn't hit your head of cauliflower and just keeps it from getting discolored. It's not going to change the taste or anything in your cauliflower, but just makes it, keep it that like snowball. I wanted to give you guys a little update on the strawberry patch. These boards, if you've been here a while, was actually just a pallet fence that my husband brought home from work. They were going to throw it in the dumpster. My husband was like, hey, can I take that if we're just going to chuck it? They were like, yeah, bring it home. We brought it home. He split it in half for me to make these really long kind of like barriers for our strawberry patch here. I've already weeded this out once this season and then it just totally got away from me, but there's some fun things in here that I wanted to talk about because I've been doing some research and I wanted to share that with you guys. So if you remember back at the beginning of the season, I asked you guys like, hey, is this a strawberry plant in my rhubarb? Like what's happening here? Because last year I only put 4 strawberry plants in here just to test out my soil, see if my soil liked the strawberries, the strawberries liked the soil, all that stuff. Since then, I've done a lot of research. So all of these red vines here are called stringers or runners, depending on who's doing the explaining. I'm going to call them runners, but these will run from this base, the start of your strawberry plant, and these will actually send off these little strawberry plants right here. And this is going to dig itself into the ground. It's going to plant itself into the ground and plant another strawberry plant. And that's how strawberry plants kind of spread out and send themselves out. So you can see I started with 4, and then back in the beginning of the season I put in another 25 little starts, just like this one right here. And now you can look and see all these red strings. These all have dozens and dozens and dozens of new strawberry plants that are already embedding themselves into the ground. I have them everywhere in here. So come next year, I'm going to have a huge strawberry patch. A lot of these are actually already in the ground. They're stuck. Some of them haven't quite gotten that far. Like you can see, I can only pull this runner up so far because it's already implanted. But you can see all of these brand new runners and strawberry patch. This is going to be massive for us next year and I'm super excited about it. So I've been coming out here as I see these runners kind of coming out, and I've been trying to catch them before they dig themselves into the ground, like this one here. And I've just been trying to spread them out so that I don't have a huge clump of strawberries in one spot. Also, what I've learned you can do is you can actually just break these off. So I'm just going to rip this off from the plant, and you can take these and plant them wherever you want. So you can see I have a strawberry plant there and one here, and you can take these and just bury them into the ground wherever you want, and then you'll have strawberry plants. So this is some of the bee balm that we put in last year for the start of our forest garden. My husband came out here the other day when he helped me with the strawberry patch, and he's like, wow, these are amazing. So these are really cool. This is the first year I've seen them bloom, which is really awesome. They're this beautiful purple color, but this is actually more of a medicinal plant. They smell really good as well. They smell kind of peppery almost, but these are supposed to be really good for like digestive health, headaches, things like that. But they're supposed to bring in a lot of pollinators, so that's why I got them originally, but they're really, really pretty to see them bloom for the first time.
The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.